Welcome to the channel. In today's video, we are going to be replacing the rear drive belt on this BMW F800 ST. This procedure is going to apply to legitimately every single belt-driven F model BMW has ever made. So kind of in the rear drive there's 3 bolts. You should be able to see those way down in there. So there's this one right here, this one, and then another one of these weird inverted hex. It's called an E10. That's the size of these 3 bolts. And you should be able to pick up an E10 pretty much anywhere. But what we're going to do is we're going to loosen up these 2 screws. We don't need to totally undo them, but just take them out like 2 turns, just enough to slacken them a little bit. And then we're going to go ahead and slacken up this one right here, and then underneath this rear end here, right under here, there's a slot. You should be able to feel that slot under here, and there's a little hole within that slot. And what you're going to use, honestly, BMW just states to use a suitable tool, and you're going to stick a screwdriver or something in here. I like to use like a punch. Steel punch, and you're going to move this back and forth, and this is like an eccentric, so it's a little bit out of round, and that's how you're going to control tension on the rear belt. So step 1, relieve these 3 bolts here and just release tension on this eccentric shaft. So a lot of people in the comments might be like, oh my god, never use a screwdriver to do that, but in reality BMW doesn't even care what you use. Also, if you want access to this type of like dealer only instructions, this will give you instructions to do literally anything on any BMW, and it's extremely detailed and thorough and easy to follow. People who have joined my channel and are joined, it's actually only $4.99 a month. People who have joined my channel, they will shoot me an email. They have access to my personal email, tell me what kind of bike or whatever they have, and I literally screenshot every single page of this and send it to them with detailed step-by-step instructions on how to complete whatever job or task they have at hand. So just one of the perks of joining my channel. The join my channel button is right down below there. So we're going to go ahead and loosen up these 3 bolts. And before, when I told you they were an E10, I actually lied. It's an E12. So now when it comes to moving this eccentric, you're going to use it. I just like to use a little punch here. Pretty standard, pretty much get these anywhere. You can use a screwdriver. So you just kind of shove it in there. You can see this little eccentric here moves back and forth. And when I have it in the fully, we'll say loose position, this belt here is, I mean, I can pretty much, if I wanted to, I could pull it off with my fingers there. Now we're going to go ahead and remove the belt guard here. So removing the belt guard, relatively simple. It's a T30 Torx. There's a T30 Torx kind of shoved behind here. And then there's another little T30 kind of behind the sprocket here. So now removing that bottom belt cover is legitimately just this 1 screw. So working your way around this belt cover, there's little clips and it just comes out like that. We can now remove the front pulley cover. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3 T30 Torx. So then the right side foot plate is held in with 3 T45s. So 1 there, 1 under here, and then 1 here. You kind of might need to finagle your brake lever around in order to access all 3 bolts. One other thing to note is if your bike is equipped with a center stand, like a lot of them are, I guess, you will need to remove at least 1 side of the center stand. We can now kind of thread the foot plate out of the way. And there's these little fiber washers that go between the foot plate here and the the engine block. So those are going to kind of fall out, and then we'll have to put those in later. We can now remove our belt. So since everything's all loose, you can literally just slide this here unit right off of the rear pulley. Then when we get it around the rear pulley, we're going to have to kind of fish it between that foot plate and the other pulley there. So got that off, and get this off. So this just goes right behind here. So now we can reinstall brand new belt. If you're looking for a belt, this particular belt can be purchased from the BMW parts store, BMWpartsguy.com, and I'm going to have that linked below. I'll actually have the link for this exact belt. This belt is going to fit F800 ST, F800R, F800 everything. We're just going to kind of fish this through here. Pretty easy. And literally just kind of walk this belt right on. I don't want to wreck this brake line or get anything pinched or caught. But since our eccentric is super loose, this thing should go on really easily. So now that it's time to adjust our belt, right now I just have this foot pedal loose. The only reason I have the foot pedal loose and none of the chain guarding, or sorry, the belt guarding on is just I want to see the whole belt. And so when it comes time to tensioning it, what you're going to do is tighten down. There's those 3 screws on top here. The outer 2 screws are for securing everything together, and the middle screw is for adjusting. So BMW has a very specific tool that I'm going to do this job without that tool because I'm assuming everyone at home also doesn't have that tool. So there's this little window in the chain guard. You can see that cutout right here. That's where we're going to take our reading. So we just want very slight, we want the belt to be taut, but it's kind of a feel thing. You want to be able to push on this and have it be tight, but not like a banjo string tight. You can see that super faint blue dot right there. You want that dot facing rearward on your rear belt pulley. So we're going to just tighten down this middle screw. The belt's going to tighten up. It's kind of turning that eccentric. It's going to give this about another half turn. And honestly, that belt tension right there feels really good. And then we're going to tighten up these 2 outer screws. So when it comes time to torque these screws, we're going to torque the outer 2 bolts first. So we're going to torque the one of them to 10 Newton meters. Then we're going to do the other one to 10 Newton meters. Then we're going to go back, do this one to 30 Newton meters, go back to this one, do this one to 30 Newton meters. Then we're going to back off our adjusting screw. So it's completely backed off. Torque this one to 30 Newton meters again. Torque this one to 30 Newton meters. And then come around and torque our adjusting screw to 10 Newton meters to finalize our torque. Now we can go ahead and reinstall our foot peg. We'll have to wiggle around and install those fiber washers behind the screw. We can then reinstall our lower chain guard. Super easy. You'll just have to make sure that it clips in here, kind of around everything. And then we can go ahead, reinstall our upper chain guard. So installing our chain guard here, super simple. Again, just like we took it off, those 3 bolts. And then if you have a center stand and you remove that, you'll have to torque that up. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more F-Series content, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what kind of bike you have. Let me know what kind of content you want to see. I'm always looking for new content ideas. But as always, have a safe ride.